I consider myself as a knife maker that makes tool first. Okay, so the tool is something, because I like function, so you need to make stuff that people are going to use and you try to make them so people are going to love using them. So they keep using their tool and they love their tool, you know. And I guess to do that you also need to put a bit of love into what you're making as well.
Always a creative person. My family's always been creative. My great-grandmother was a court dressmaker, always making her own clothes, and my grandmother would sort of sit me down and show me a particular stitch, or my mum would show me how to interpret a particular piece in a pattern. And so when I turned to leatherwork, I knew how to become proficient relatively quickly, and sort of the patience it took and the sorts of things I needed to do to get to the point where I could make sheaths that I was really proud of. We were living out bush. We were living in Warrakuna, which was in the middle of nowhere.
I was a ranger, Annika was working with the ladies, I was working with the old man. So when we were checking walls, you know, sometimes you find like a bush turkey or a poor kangaroo or a poor emu or a cat sometimes. And so we just take the 22 out of the backseat, and when they finished killing the animal, generally they were using my knife to pierce and, you know, get the guts out.
Yeah, Francois was using a lot of knives, but they weren't up to the task.
Getting the rib cage out, and yeah, that's how they used to destroy my knife.
And then he started playing around with making knives, and I thought, oh, I could get a knife making course for his birthday, something he might enjoy. So I looked around and everybody said, Bruce Barnett, he's the best to go to. So it was a 1,700-kilometre drive down a dirt track to get to Bruce's place. Spent a week with him, and suddenly it got very expensive from there, and we got a forge and then the grinder and then everything else built out, and then we ended up eventually moving to Alice Springs, and the sole reason we bought our house was because it had a shed.
I'm lucky to be able to forge at two different places, at home, where we are now, and where we live, because it's home. And also at the gas station, where once or twice a week we have the GAN people coming, and that's an honor to be able to use this heritage pressing to actually make the whole bellow live again and make this area resonate with the sound of hammer and Yandiwa. So we forge just little things for the GAN, like travelers. Generally it would be just bottle openers. And then at home here I will do more like what we call sandmai. So like when you have a sandwich of like 3 or 5 layers, which would be a gomai, and some Damascus as well. But yeah, I'm lucky enough to be able to forge in these two environments, like one where we use like charcoal, which is more like a old traditional like forge, and here where I can use the gas. So the environment for the steel is different. I don't know if it's better or not, but maybe it's more homogeneous for the steel to be in a gas forge. So yeah, two different environments, two different locations.
I've never met someone who's able to work so hard for so long, like keeps going all through summer. It can be like 50, 55 degrees in his shed and he'll still be out there forging, trying to push orders through and get things done. He's a machine.
I'm lucky enough to have someone who can actually alleviate a big part of my job, which is to make some fancy pants for the fancy knife I make. One of the quality of Annika is that she cares. She cares to a lot of things around her, and I think Annika is very good at prioritizing. Multitasking, I'm not sure, but prioritizing, that's definitely a very good point for her. For me, I'm more like organic, and sometimes I go in every places, and she's actually the center point, the anchor. And that's I think that's a good quality, because I need this anchor as well to sometimes like stop and start again and move on.
So our house at the moment is more studio than house, but at the same time I really like that, and it's quite eccentric and bizarre, and it works for us. Sometimes weekends aren't spent going out and going for a hike, they might be spent going to a knife show. It's actually how we live who we are.
Right now we live in Alice Springs, so yeah, I keep making kitchen knife for the markets, I keep making hunting knife for the station owners and farmers around. And I also do stabilization for wood. So we are in what we call the wood room. So that's where we let the wood that we buy and wood handles for knife or axes or anything that people need. This wood is 250 years old, and it's almost surely one of the densest wood on earth. It's actually a piece of waddy wood, Acacia puce, that was collected by a custodian at the Birdsville Hotel. So this piece of wood here was part of a post that was cut in 1884 by the builder of the first Birdsville Hotel. You can also work other materials, like this is some camel bones that we process as well using the same process as the wood. Like antler as well. Some makers in Australia use mostly antlers for their knife. This is actually mammoth ivory from the mammoth tusk. So you can find them in Siberia, in Northern America, Alaska, and it's obviously a very rare product, and the price of a block like this would be very huge. It would be the price of an entire knife itself.
We both really rejected that routine you can fall into when you work full time, and this was a way to challenge that and do something different and have this other thing on the side, so our lives weren't just consumed with what we were doing professionally. There was this other thing that was ours and it was for us. I think it's been good because it's made us work on things as a couple, and we work together on something, and you learn about each other in a different way and how to negotiate in that space and work together better in a lot of other aspects in life.
Well, the best thing to work with your partner is communication. You need to talk to your partner about what you do in life, how you do it. Then, okay, you work in the business with your partner. She's here, she's next to me. I can just talk to her and sort things out.
Because we haven't been able to have children yet, this business in a way has become our baby, and we've learned how to co-parent together. So then when we do have a kid, we've made all the mistakes hopefully on the business, and we won't screw the kids up too much.
Some stuff in life just happens sometimes. You meet people for a reason or maybe no reason, but it just is, and you have to rock with it. That's it. Just let the dance begin.
It's a lifestyle is the end goal, and making things that we're really proud of and we feel like we're pushing ourselves the furthest with, and that other people feel a connection to.